Pokémon Legends Arceus is arguably the most anticipated installment in one of the longest running franchises in video game history. Pokémon has built a legacy that will be remembered through time for reasons both outstanding and just completely ridiculous. We've all grown up playing it, watching it, and just consuming every form of media we could get our hands on. But we definitely want more. This time around, they've finally managed to come up with a game that reinvigorates and reinvents a franchise that, well, let's admit, has been growing kind of stale. Even the guy writing this script is hyped for it, and last time he played Pokemon was Pokemon Crystal on the Game Boy Color. He doesn't even have a Switch, for crying out loud. But I digress. Now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, sure, but if you can break it down yourself and build it up into something so much better, then by all means, Nintendo, show us how it's done. Hey guys, I'm Nice with UnGeek, and we're addressing the speculation revolving around Pokémon Legends Arceus. Why is it so good? If you were expecting a totally different game from what you're used to, that wouldn't be the case, at least not entirely. It's still, in essence, an epic journey where you catch Pokemon in order to be the very best like no one ever was, but you still get those rock, paper, scissors elemental matchups as well, those force skills, and people who'd still challenge you to battle even if you're on your way to work. Good stuff. Now, that's pretty much where all familiarity ends, because Legends Arceus takes things to another level. You're now thrust into an open world where you can roam around vast spaces with a fully immovable camera. First-person Pokemon is a thing now. While the entire map is divided into sections, the exploration is seamless. Whether it's along the plains, through the mountains, or across the sea, traveling has never been this enjoyable in the series. Now, if you've always hated the random encounters in the old games or the necessity to battle in recent titles, you can forego all that here for as long as you want. When you finally want to get down to business, however, and start collecting, you won't even need to bring out your Pokemon. While they do help for tougher encounters, you just need Pokeballs to get the job done. Yeah, make sure you have a lot of Pokeballs. There's a lot more to rave about in terms of what's new, and we'll get to that in a bit. We just wanted to make it clear that the core mechanics that made Pokemon great never left the franchise. They just got reimagined to a point where it's kind of like a dream. We're living in a time where Pokemon are wild beasts, and going out looking for them in tall grass isn't quite the norm anymore, because hey, they'll find you. Legends Arceus lets you choose your battles and allows you to approach each one differently. Yes, you heard me. No more static images and no more shifting from overworld to battle screen. Everything is seamless and on the fly. You can charge in and throw a barrage of Pokeballs, or use stealth to sneak around in hopes of a fast capture. You can send your own Pokemon in to duke it out old school, and you can also use crafted items as a quick distraction or for self-defense. Or hey, if you want, you can run away just like you do from your responsibilities. It's basically the Generation 1 Safari Zone, only it spans the entire game. And the Pokemon, hey, they can actually destroy you by attacking your life points directly. The addition of Alpha and Noble Pokemon brings a certain level of danger in earlier levels, but later on it becomes a really sweet challenge because, hey, who doesn't want to catch a Snorlax with raging demon eyes, right?
Okay, but this is just divine, exquisite.
Now, the Noble Pokemon are a different story. They're like the Alolan Totem Pokemon, in which they're basically bosses, so you kind of know what to expect. You're basically fighting for your life to capture or beat a gigantic glowing Pokemon, and it's actually so much fun, I wouldn't have it any other way. Pokémon Legends Arceus is a prequel that takes you back to the humble beginnings of the Sinnoh region, and you're here to be a part of that history. The land called Hisui is a completely different place from what you're used to. You start things out by creating your character with a decent amount of customization, and then set out into your base camp, Jubilife Village. Unlike earlier titles where you get 69 different main characters and 420 characters who come and go, Hisui gives you a tight-knit cast. You won't be losing track of anyone this time, and like any good anime, you can finally be invested into everyone's struggles. Jubilife Village isn't the only civilization though. There are a number of settlements around the region that tie into the modern series. You'll notice this from people's characteristics, their outfits, their insignias, the overall aesthetic. You'll pick up on everyone's ancestry and it'll be fun to see how far the lineage goes. Your goal, of course, is to create the very first Pokédex as a member of the Galaxy Expedition Team's Survey Corps. No, not that Survey Corps, but a group that's basically responsible for the old-timey Pokemon research. One of their researchers, Professor Levinton, has tasked you with the meeting of all the Pokemon in the region, listing them down and documenting your findings like the badass you are. Yeah, he doesn't care if you get hyper beamed in the face, it's for science. As you go about your duties, you'll unravel a mystery surrounding a rift in the sky that could possibly be connected to the wild Pokemon going on a rampage. As you venture into each settlement, you'll learn more about the people, the Pokemon, and the history surrounding the Hesu region. You'll be the one to determine who's the actual bad guy in this story. There's no better way to go about being the main character than to determine your own destiny. From what we saw in the first few trailers and the media pre-launch, the main idea everyone had at the time was, wow, this kind of looks like Breath of the Wild, and who could blame them? Almost every new open world title nowadays kind of is. That being said, we couldn't have been more wrong. While it does have the refreshing vastness that we often associate with such games, it's still a Pokemon game to its core. That's an undeniable fact. While Legends Arceus is definitely going to be an awesome game that will keep you hooked for hours on the main story alone, it's not perfect. A few frame rate issues, uneven graphical details, and a bit of a lack of Pokemon in the overworld leave it at rough around the edges. If you're going to be totally nitpicky about it, then you're probably not going to have a good time. But then again, a good time might be a foreign concept to you anyway. Besides, these factors could hopefully be addressed and improved down the line, so they're far from being deal breakers for us. They don't really take away from what makes this game so damn good. If you're looking for the next best step in the Pokemon franchise where you can experience what it could be like to actually live amongst the Pokemon, this is as close as you're gonna get. It's a game that runs nice and smooth, action-packed, and filled to the brim with all the RPG goodness that made you fall in love with Pokemon for the first time a few decades ago. We recommend you do check it out. We guarantee you'll have the time of your life. So there you have it, Pokemon Legends Arceus and why it's just so good. Are you looking to get it? Have you already gotten beaten to a pulp by an alpha Snorlax? Hey, let us know in the comment section below. Again guys, I am Nicey with UnGeek. Now if you'll excuse me, I gotta get this script writer a switch.